Hi, welcome to Pick a Card Tarot. My name is Michael. Today we're going to be doing a reading that is a message from your higher self. So, pick a stack of cards, whichever one appeals to you, and let's get into the readings. Here we have stack number 1. Let's see what we pulled. First card is the Fool. Next card is the Wheel of Fortune. Ten of Swords. Six of Wands. Three of Pentacles. Ace of Cups. Two of Pentacles. Son of Wands, and the Mother of Pentacles. Okay, here in our first reading, let's see, our two major arcana that we have here are the Fool and the Wheel of Fortune. The Fool is usually representing a clear, like a Taoist or like a flow state of mind without too much overthinking, which is represented by the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords is like your downfall is overthinking. Swords are yourself stabbing you in the back. So it's time to get out of your head and return to just action. Taking action, changing your fate. Usually in a person's life, their life is cultivated in a way that they repeat the same things all the time, and it's comfortable for them, and if anything changes they get very anxious. So this is usually an uncomfortable state for people, to actually just be going with the flow and seeing where it leads. And that can lead to the Wheel of Fortune. Like I was saying, when you have this set life where everything is repeated over and over again, it's very hard to change your fate, because your fate's on repeat. You're like Groundhog's Day. So clearing your mind and not living in the past and the future gives you options in the present to do new things and not just repeat the old things. You got the old things figured out. You know, repeating them more isn't going to help that much. So let's see how the journey cards play into that. The Ace of Cups shows a new passion, something coming from the heart, something you might do as like an overflowing of your heart into the world, into manifestation. So like something you love to do, something that's just who you are or what you represent. Maybe just showing yourself as a person, your personality. You maybe hold back too much and you want to share a little more of yourself with everybody. Two is when you're bringing something into manifestation. This is shows like a physical bringing in juggling. It's awkward at first, and then showing yourself to people, bringing you what you've made out in public to be judged is a scary part, where overthinking will make it so you just never do that. This is like a wall of fear that gets between you and action. So get out of your head. You can make yourself perfected in private before you bring yourself out, and that's fine. But don't just stay in that stage, you know? Once you bring out yourself, it shows reward for your action. The Six of Wands. So it's good stuff happening with the little warning at the end. Okay, the Son of Wands shows a little bit that you're not one for taking action. You might be a little timid when it comes down to getting something done. So it's just going to have to be maybe baby steps. This is the learning stage. Baby steps to build up the confidence in what you're trying to express. And being practical, you're a practical person. So these two things would say to me almost introverted and timid by nature, which isn't like a bad thing, like thoughtful and practical. And you want to bring yourself out a little more, which is fine. And it looks like there's going to be good results. And that's our first reading. All right. Okay, here we have pile number 2. Let's see what cards we pulled. Card number 1, first card, is going to be the High Priestess. Next is Justice. Movement of Swords, otherwise known as the Knight of Swords. Strength. 5 of Wands. The 6 of Pentacles. 9 of Cups. 10 of Cups. And Judgment. Okay, here in reading number 2, we have the High Priestess, Justice, Strength, and Judgment for the Major Arcana cards, which say to me all good things. The High Priestess is just encouraging you to use your intuition to, in combination with Justice, to find your path forward. To not like sometimes it's hard on a in life or in spiritual evolution to actually know in a complex situation what's right and wrong. But if you use your intuition, usually things that are not correct will feel horrible, and that's just your natural reflex to situations. And the strength will be to curb your ego, to put your worldly desires a little bit in check with your higher self. You can see the girl is representing the higher self, and the lion is representing like your animal self. And this Judgment card, Judgment is like the universe's response to the work you're doing. So throughout this process, your higher self using your intuition, leading you to evolve as a person, become a better person, learn right from wrong, and take care of your lower self. Judgment is the response that you'll feel as you go through life. Like you as a person will change, and so the things around you will change to reflect that. Changing your internal changes the external, instead of the other way around, where people are always trying to get things from outside of them in order to make them feel better inside. This works in the opposite direction, which most spiritual things work in the opposite direction. Because chasing worldly things never really makes you happy, but changing yourself changes your interaction with every single thing in the world. So here's the 5 of Wands, so at times it might feel like a struggle. And 6 of Pentacles, things are starting to come around in the worldly sense, like maybe the struggle was monetary and you had to push through, or coming out of some struggle into some kind of pulling ahead physically. And I would say in the future, this is the 9 of Cups and the 10 of Cups, and these are more about like getting to your goal. You have a set goal, a set place you want to be that you're striving for, and this is showing it all coming to a head pretty soon. So you're taking this together as like as a whole picture. You're going to be led through this self-correction process, which is overcoming your lower, maybe your passions or your addictions, or just things you do too much that are wasteful, the habits that you think you couldn't control, or you're going to get under control. You're going to learn to, give the correct responses through your trial and error. Treat people how you wanted to be treated, and take more of a approach of correcting yourself in a situation rather than trying to correct the outward situation to get what you want. You know, self-mastery instead of is mastery of the world around you, and not the other way around. Okay, and this is the movement of swords, which is the Knight of Swords, which means like internally you're going to have to work through all this process. You might work it out logically, or through your intuition may just give you flashes of insight, and you're gonna have to be able to swiftly in a situation discern between what is the correct path. So be quick on your feet, mental feet. And that's it for reading number 2. Alright, here we have pile number 3. Let's see what we pulled. Okay, card number 1, the Heart of Wands. Number 2, the Hanged Man. Number 3, the Tower. 4, the World. 5, the Hierophant. Next, Knight of Swords. Here is the 8 of Pentacles. 7 of Cups. 8 of Pentacles. 4 of Cups. 2 of Cups. And the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, here we have reading number 3. Our major arcana cards are going to be the Hanged Man, the Tower, the World, the Hierophant. We went over this a second ago. The Hanged Man is showing that you're going to be seeing things from a different perspective. Probably it looks like that would go along with the meaning of the Tower. The Tower means that you're going to have a sudden shift in the way your life functions. Usually when I see the Tower, I think of it as you may have been run more by the ego, and your ego is going to get somehow jolted out of its normal comfort zone. So you have to then redefine yourself. So the Hangman's going to be, see, he's hanging himself upside down, and his head is illuminated, so he's kind of like changing perspective to look at things from a different angle. And this takedown of your normal, what you think defines you, may open up to a new view of the world. And the World card right here is a card of completion. So this section of your life is going to end, and you're going to open up into a new thing. And through this process, you're going to learn about yourself and about the world, a key of knowledge. This is like higher learning. Higher learning doesn't usually, and this from the higher self mean schooling. It would mean a universal law, or a lesson in life that's going to change you as a person. Okay, now let's look at the minor cards to see how this comes about. Here we have the Heart of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. These are new things that are coming into your life. The Wands would be a new action, and the Pentacles would be a new manifestation. So probably through the Tower card and seeing things from a different perspective, you're going to have to take new actions and create something new in order to continue on building your life. So the old part of your life is going to end, and it's going to start fresh. The 2 of Cups and the 4 of Cups here, in this scenario, I would see them as you're going to find a new passion. It could be a relationship. Based on the surrounding cards, I wouldn't see that as the most relevant thing. I would think of it more of maybe a new objective, or a new goal or love in life. Something that would be reflected here, loving a craft. So something that you could do not for money, but to enjoy life. So maybe before you would have worked for the ego, or you would have worked for money or safety or security, which are all ego things. Even safety is an ego thing, so you're just trying to protect your little self from getting hurt. Now you're going to start moving into a period of time where you're going to be creating out of love. You're going to be bringing things out of your heart into the world. So you're going to master the thing looks like that you would love doing the most. Here is a little section you're going to have to go through. You're going to have to meditate on what that thing is. You're going to have a lot of choices. A lot of them are going to seem like you might want to go back to your old ways, maybe do things from the ego, or you're going to have to find the one that you're doing for the sake of doing it and master it. Because other than that, you're going to be, I don't think you really have a choice at this point. Your old self got taken out, but choose wisely. You probably know this thing. You probably thought about doing it before in the past when you were younger. I want to do this. When I grew up, I love doing this. But then at some point, you buckled under life's pressures and had to get a real job. But now you're going to meditate on this. It's going to come out obvious to you. And you're going to start acting from your higher self. The old you is going to die. New you is going to come in out of the ashes and step forth. So that's what I have for reading number 3. The Knight of Swords is here too. This is almost a personality trait that's going to have to be taken. It's a swiftness of mind. So in this situation, you're going to have to think on your feet. But I see this in this scenario as less relevant. These are kind of just like things that are, and not things that are happening. So that's reading number 3.